Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics, and today I wanted to talk to you about some other obsessions that I had when I was a kid. I had two other obsessions besides comic books. I like to collect the OPG hockey cards, and especially from the 70s and 80s, and I also like to play Dungeons and Dragons. I bring up Dungeons and Dragons because Dungeons and Dragons playing led to me, as a comic fan, to the comic stories of Conan the Barbarian, who I want to talk about today. Now, the Conan I want to talk about is the Marvel Comics version from 1970 to 1994 or 5. Basically, it ran for 275 issues, and seven annuals and a couple specials from October 1970 on. As Conan also appeared in a lot of Marvel magazines and such, especially the Savage Sword of Conan, which I currently have the current Titan version of, but I don't have any of the original Marvel ones. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I like Conan, and after Superman and the Super Family, I've been collecting. I'm trying to get a full run of the regular Conan series. I have the first Red Sonja. I don't have Conan 1. I don't have Conan 14, which is the other big one yet. But I do have probably 60 to 65% of the Conan run right now. And I'm hopefully going to finish that at some point in my life. I'm a bit. So what I wanted to do today was I wanted to talk to you about some issues from the run, just what happened in them and the kind of stuff that happens in order to make you understand kind of why I like Conan. Conan is not like other comics. A lot of other comics have a simplistic um, feel to them where it's here's the villain, here's the hero, we fight, it's done. Villain goes to jail, hero goes for one last little page in his secret identity, ha 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 ha, and they move on. Conan is chock full of stuff. And no period of Conan shows how chock full it is as the mid 70s period. Basically, Conan had a girlfriend for about 30 issues named Belit, who was the pirate queen of the sea. Well, the 10 issues that I decided to focus on are the first 10 issues from issues 101 to 110. Belit died in issue 100. So these are Conan's adventures just after the death of his, and I could say his true love, until he ends up with his queen when he's the king later in the run. Had that considered, she's considered a true love there. But she doesn't live very long. She that queen also dies giving birth to Conan's son. Conan was also a newspaper strip from 1978 to 1981, and that was written by Roy Thomas and drawn by John Buscema. The strip only lasted 3 years because it really wasn't working very well. A lot of newspapers canceled it. Conan, as a character, does not lend itself easily to a daily strip format. So I'm going to show you the sample issues that I've got, and we're going to talk about them. Here we have Conan the Barbarian 101. Okay? He's cooking by a fire, and Conan is thinking of Belit when he's suddenly attacked by warriors. Conan ends up captured, and because he killed the war chief in the battle, the village decides to put him on trial. Conan breaks free eventually and fights Yorubo, the warrior who wants to be the chief. They end up fighting on a log above an arena above a pit with a giant spider in it. As you can see, that's the cover here. After Yorubo falls into the pit and his wife jumps in after him to try and save him, Conan then jumps into the pit himself and he kills the spider and becomes the war chief. Yorubo is angry at that and tries to kill him, and Conan kills him in self-defense. The village then orders Yorubo's wife to be Conan's wife because of the rules of the village. If apparently you get the wife of the person killed, Conan is not really happy with that. That is 101. Book 102 is a little more interesting. Conan leads the village tribe against the Kungadu, who have attacked their village. They end up surrendering, and when Conan accepts their surrender, he also accepts their allegiance. Batsotu of the original tribe disagrees with that. He thinks that they should be all wiped out. But before they could resolve that fight, a group of vampires attack the settlement. Conan manages to kill one. The rest of the vampires flee, and the villagers give chase. However, it is discovered later that some vampires hid behind and have attacked some of the women. Identified as the men who drink blood, Conan then pays a visit to their lair, scaling a wall to enter it as it is completely locked up, manages to get in behind and unlocks the door to let his fellow villagers in. As it is currently daytime, the vampires are sleeping, but it turns out to be a trap. Conan ends up attacking the Dralic king, which is what they're called, the Dralics. Finds out that he's an actual vampire, where the rest are just men pretending to be vampires, and he gets knocked unconscious during the battle. Once Conan gets knocked unconscious, the rest of the villagers surrender. Leading us to issue 103. There's the Vampire King holding on to Conan. The villagers are placed in a cell. Conan is laying out while still unconscious on a stone slab. Once he wakes up, the Vampire King tells Conan his backstory and tells Conan he told him that because he intends to turn him into a vampire. Conan refuses and is jailed. The next day, Conan is once again brought in front of the Vampire King, and Conan says that he'll let him turn him if the villagers are spared. However, while this is going on, the wife of the Vampire King turns on the Vampire King, and even though the king kills her with almost no effort, enough chaos is done that most of the villagers escape, and Conan attempts to escape as well. The Vampire King, though, stops him in the middle of trying to escape, and Conan manages to defeat him first by impaling him and then beheading him. See, lots of stuff. Conan is just chock full of it. Next, we have 104. We start 104. If you take a look at the cover, it's got a very interesting creature on it, that Conan is there. At the start of 104, we are introduced to a slave girl by the name of Livia. She is in her hut, and she's watching villagers dance around because Conan has been invited by the King Bajush to join in fellowship and to try and make an alliance to fight another group. Conan arrives with the villagers, and while partaking in the feast, Conan is not so sure he wants to do this. So the feast ends when Bajujo passes out. Okay? Livia sneaks out and asks Conan to help her escape. Conan has no interest in her, but says he will help her as he doesn't trust Bajuj. He sends her back to her tent. Okay? But to her hut, and he has his people attack Bejuz's people because he knows Bejuz. He's got a feeling he's going to be attacking him anyway, so he's trying to double cross and take care of them before they can take care of Conan's people. Now, in the confusion, Livia tries to escape on a stolen horse, and it doesn't work. She gets thrown from a horse not too far from the camp area. The fight is over, but Livia has been approached by a group of women who use some sort of spell to paralyze her. They plan this group of women plan to use her as a sacrifice to a winged creature. And yes, the winged creature is the one that's on the cover. As you can see there, this is Livia, and this is Conan, of course. Conan sees the creature from a distance and manages to attack it before it gets to Livia. It wounds and it flies away, and Conan gets Olivia escorted home with some of his men. Then that brings us to issue 105 with a very mysterious cover, you could say. After several months of Conan's rule, a drought has hit the Bohumas, which is the name of the tribe he's ruling. And the shaman of them blames Conan for this problem. Conan kills him, but he's had enough anyway, so Conan decides to flee the town. He flees and he leaves them to their own devices. He travels for days and days and he fights a lot of wild animals. But he eventually comes across an ancient stone fortress that's in partial decay. He decides to spend the night there. He does not notice that there is a mist creature around the site, and he falls asleep. While he is asleep, a band of Stygians arrive. And those are men from Stygia, if you're not familiar with the Conan, there are a lot of countries and a lot of different people. Conan is one of those books for details. You really got to get into it in order to understand where everyone comes from. Now, it turns out that the mist is actually made of hundreds of spirits, and they're able to make physical form. They decided to use the distraction of the Stygians to attack Conan, but before they can do that, they are actually distracted because the Stygians see the mist creature. Conan wakes up and notices the mist when a guard is sent to investigate. The spirit takes a form that kills all the Stygians, but Conan manages to escape and steal a horse, continuing north to Kush. So the mist creature does not get Conan. Conan 106. As Conan makes his way to Kush, a person by the name of Ambula awakens in a drug-like daze, wondering how he's been accused of treason and put in a dungeon. He notices mists, another mist thing, convalescing together, and it's turning into a large pig form, which kills him. The next morning, a courtier informs Lord Toothmace that something killed Ambula. A demon. That a demon killed Ambula. Toothmace knows it was actually the queen of the town that sent him to his death. And so she punishes the guard. He punishes the guard responsible for killing Ambula, because apparently Ambula is his buddy. Toothmace then calls on the sorcerer Muru, as he needs his special skills to foment a rebellion. They spread the word that Queen Tanada has had a killing spree. It was killing people in a killing spree, and thus riding around the town the next day, Conan comes upon the queen making her rounds, and she is being attacked by a mob. Conan successfully rescues her, and Thenarda has her captain of the guard executed and replaced with Conan. Story continued in next issue. Oh no, sorry, we've still got more notes for this one. Haha. Meanwhile, Tuthmas has a new slave, Diana, who is given to the queen as a new spy to spy on her. Tamanda has her chained because she doesn't trust her, as after all it comes from Tuthmas, and so she tells Tamanda about Toothless's plans, even though she's really scared of the pig demon creature. So Tamanda decides to kill her, and she's stopped by and Tamanda is stopped by Conan before she can kill Diana. Now to the next issue. Issue 107. Conan stops the torture and the killing, knowing that the town outside, it might be a final straw, because Tamanda is killing way too many people, and it seems like the town is in a bit of frenzy as it is. They don't like the queen. It's already half in rebellion and half. It won't take much to get things going. Toothmas orders Miru to send the pig demon to try and kill Conan and Diana. And Tamanda has had another man killed in the meantime, and Conan leaves her in disgust. He's like, that's it. I can't handle this kind of thing. So the creature ends up materializing in Diana's chambers, and Conan arrives just in time to defeat the creature. The creature, though, still lives and staggers away and manages to escape. But then it dies at the feet of Turthmes because he recognized him as his master. So, because of this, people recognize what Turthmes is trying to do, and he and Miru are killed by the mob. And when Taneda comes out to try and stop it all, she ends up being killed by the mob as well. So the city is completely getting destroyed. It is on fire, and in the chaos, Diana and Conan escape the city, leading to Conan 108. Diana and Conan are traveling together, and she tells Conan her backstory. The next day, they are ambushed by a group of cannibals. They lose their horses, but manage to find a caravan nearby that they are able to seek protection from. Well, it turns out that this caravan is run by a man called Thutmekru, who is an old acquaintance of Conan's, who secretly hates him. The cannibals request Diana as a price to allow the caravan to leave. Conan ends up offering himself instead, and Thutmekru decides to offer his servant Erfu as well, and that's enough. The caravan moves along, and Conan and Erfu are taken as captives. They are chained together, but Erfu manages to escape because it turns out he had a vial of acid. He also helps Conan get free. They manage to grab a horse and flee under cover of night, arriving at the town Sukmet. Sukmet is where Thutrek has gone to, and Conan decides he's going to try and rescue Diana, but Diana says that she would rather stay there with Thukmet than continue traveling. At which point Conan leaves the city with Efru. "109. Traveling through the country of Shem to Argos, Conan and Erfu are ambushed by Shiante tribesmen, I want to say. Could be Shemanite or Shemite. Shemite. Whatever the exact word is, I can't read it. I'm sorry. My writing is terrible. Conan is hit by an arrow, but still manages to take down two of the cavalry soldiers. But they are outnumbered badly. So Conan and Efu hide in the glass. Hide in the grass lands that are around. There's no glass; it's grasslands. Okay, and suddenly Erfu finds himself being attacked by an orange mist until Conan manages to pull him out of the cloud. As they go, Conan hears movement and they discover that a column of Essir is marching towards them. Essir are northern people, similar to Conan's Cimmerians, but they are of a different race. They're more red-headed and more Norse, where Conan's people are more I want to say English, but they're really not. So Conan is shocked, and suddenly runs into a group of dwarves that has enslaved the Asir. He manages to kill these dwarves and discovered Njord, who is a war chief he fought with years ago, has been one of the ones captured. Njord shows the power of the dwarves, summoning large bears, and that is the image of the bear, for example, right there. Which leads us to the last book, number 110. As a giant bear attacks Conan, he realizes it's an illusion. The bear becomes a black mist. There's a lot of mists in these ones, eh? Which knocks Conan out. He awakens tied up by the Aesir because they are still enthralled by the dwarves. One strikes Conan. They arrive to the tented city of Buryat, hidden in the deep grass and populated mostly by dwarves. Conan and Erfu are then placed in an arena to fight a bear. Conan rushes the bear and with a chain manages to break its back. The crowd believes Erfu's magic is actually the reason the bear is destroyed, and their attitude completely changes. Conan and Erfu are given regal quarters and the services of a servant named Tassa. Tassa has decided that Conan is going to be her next mate. And I believe that's her right there in the corner. Okay, Conan has absolutely no interest in her. Conan has no interest in girls right now. He is mourning Belit, and the mourning of Belit is a big part of these 10 issues. They're not big parts of the story, but they mention it at least once in every issue, and that's one of the reasons why I picked these 10 issues to go over. So, Tassa ends up leaving because Conan basically doesn't want her around. And she ends up being attacked by a panther, who then is rescued by Conan, and the panther turns out to be a shapeshifter, and it was the Aesir who had struck Conan earlier. When Conan kills the man, Tassa says that she has won the right to him through right of conquest. And that is the end of this book. It does continue into 111. This story actually goes on for 3 or 4 more issues after that. But I just wanted to give you an example of what goes on in Conan books. There seems to be levels upon levels of stuff that's going on. There seems to be chess pieces moving everywhere. And you really have to know some of the background. That being said, you can also pretty much pick up any Conan book and quickly understand, here's the situation right now. This is what Conan's doing. This is who he's up against. Yada da. Let's take care of it. And for that reason, I like Conan so much. It doesn't matter what order I buy the books in. I'm able to quickly set exactly where I am in the mythos. And that is one of the reasons I like it. Like Dungeons and Dragons, the game that I find is, even though the game came later than Conan, Conan is actually considered to be one of the influences of the game. Not at the level as a Lord of the Rings, for example, but still, Conan is considered. Dave Arneson was a big fan of Conan, who created the game with Gary Gygax. So Gygax tended to do, so Arneson tended to do the fights with the, here the fighter. In fact, a good chunk of the fighter class was based on the fact that Conan could pick up any weapon and use it well. That actually made it into the game. I like this series a lot. It was well written, well thought out. A lot of people don't like Roy Thomas. But the fact is, Roy Thomas, as you'll see in other videos I will be doing soon, because they will also involve Roy Thomas written books, Roy Thomas was fantastic. As far as I'm concerned, he saved comics in the sense that he created comic fandom. He wrote the first comic zines. He was the first one to contact our writers and artists. He's a big Golden Age fan, especially the Justice Society. Made all that stuff possible. I think that if he had never met Jerry Bales, we probably wouldn't have comic fandom as we know it today. Having said that, I recommend, if you have a chance, the current Conan series, where this is the current issue 15. The current Titan Conan series is just as good. I think artistically it's even better, but from the writing point of view, it's done well as well. I think everybody should, if they haven't read a Conan book, they should at least read one. And if it's not their cup of tea, that's fine. It isn't everybody's cup of tea. It's sword and sorcery. It's very, I don't want to say narrow, but it is a little more constructed because it actually takes place in a defined world, where with the superhero worlds, you can go off to other planets and add and do whatever you want. So the things there are a little more open. Conan's is a more defined world. But I liked it. And if you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe. I particularly want to see in the comments if you are a fan of Conan or are you not a fan of Conan. If you are a fan, what were your favorite Conan moments? I'd like to see a discussion go on in the comments. It would be a lot of fun to see, because Conan is one of those guys, honestly, you either love him or you hate him. I love the movies. I love the books. I love the comic books. There's not too much about Conan I don't like. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this today. I know I enjoyed making it. My name is Matt, and I like comics. And I hope you do too. Thank you very much. Have a good one.